behold, Reed, I have made the ultimate device.
What is it? Does it solve the organ failure epidemic?
Even better, I've made a toaster that feels pain.
So what problem does this solve?
Just watch this.
In the modern day, it seems like we have many marvels that should be more lauded, such as the creation of safe drinking water basically anywhere, or maybe the fact that the USA can airdrop a fully operational McDonald's anywhere in the world within 24 hours.
It's a Burger King.
But one of the most recent advancements seems to be taking center stage. The advent of AI is upon us, and it's been making some people act very strange. We invented a yes man to confirm your delusions even when they're entirely incorrect, and it's funded by you and every other schmuck with a bank account and access to breathable air. Cyberpunk is real, and it's lamer and gayer than we could have ever expected. Of course, I'm talking about the cultural filter feeders, the promptards. With the latest versions of Sora, and basically any other model, comes a flooding of painful auto-generated trash. Now I believe it's our responsibility to consume art made by humans. The more we consume corporate sludge, the more they'll make, and the more it puts talent out of work. Their ultimate goal for image and video generation is the creation of an infinite money generator that will ultimately destroy culture. The fact that we are finite gives the work meaning. The fact that we don't have enough time in the day to pump out endless content is what makes it special. A unique vision created by a truly finite being is what makes the work we create have importance. To pawn human expression off to a machine is the pinnacle of grotesque corporate zombies who live to leech off of others. Their goal is to weaken the culture and turn it into a brown homogeneous sludge that they can profit off of. So what is a promptard? Well, for the sake of this video, it's anyone who relies on AI to think for them, or someone who evangelizes for the downfall of artists in place of a machine. These people haunt all parts of social media and are very adamant about degrading upcoming artists, and people who simply want their work to not be stolen. In general, these are fools who almost believe that the AI is alive and actually able to think, and that it's not just a flesh suit. You'll see them everywhere, expelling whatever idiotic opinion they can to get attention from others. You'll usually see them taking normal meme formats and then slapping some shitty AI filter on it to make it look like someone else's work. At some point, it's just pathetic. On another level, it's just flat out gross. I really don't care for the mockery of great artists. So on a more positive note, when do we think this will cause a collapse? Not so much a social collapse, more of a collapse of the internet. We already have more than half the internet traffic being taken up by bots, so we might be heading towards a completely useless tool that was amazing at one point. Ultimately, it'll be a good thing when the web as we know it fails, because with every death, new life springs forth. I'm just hoping it's something more useful than the endless death scroll factory that we made already. So where does this type of arrogance come from? Ultimately, I feel as though this stems from a feeling of jealousy. Typically, artists aren't very gatekeepy when it comes to techniques. Most artists are perfectly willing to share ways that they learned and improved on their craft. But nowhere in that journey did it come easy for anyone. Art isn't easy, and neither is anything worth doing. We create because it's something meaningful to us as artists. We learn and we grow with our craft. When you take a shortcut to the end, you truly only rob yourself of those skills in the future. It might sound a little bit trite, but it's true when it comes to things that you're truly passionate about. Not everything's going to be a W. Hell, most things are going to be big fat L's. But we press on because it's the key to communication with like-minded individuals. If we just pass it off to a machine, we might as well have just sent them the prompt instead, because it's basically the same amount of effort. So let's think about why human expression is meaningful. In general, you only get a few decades on this earth. You are limited in your time in every sense of the word. Most of your life is going to be spent keeping yourself alive, sleeping, eating, drinking, and working. So those things you make in your free time are inherently valuable, because they were paid for with a resource you'll never get more of: your time. If we allow ourselves to circumvent our growth as people by shirking our expression off to a machine that only produces derivative work, what did our lives even mean? When does the realization that you wasted what little you were given on a meaningless pastime that only served to degrade our culture into a corporate cesspool? Maybe it's just me, but I feel like we're better than that. Our lives are worth more than being a number on a spreadsheet. And if you think the same, you better be the change you want to see.
Reed, I need your help. I burned my hand and now the toaster's out for blood.
Wait, what?
Apparently it doesn't feel pain. It just takes pleasure in inflicting it on others.
Have you tried unplugging it?
Oh wait, shit. I didn't think about that.
So let's think about who's going to hurt the most from the influence of AI. At some point we have to realize that the more commonplace a tool is, the more rare the skills that it's supposed to replace becomes. Think about how we've lost a lot of old forging skills due to them not being necessary in our current world. But this is a significantly more serious loss. The loss of the ability to create without the use of a tool that's controlled by someone else. If I lost all my tools, i.e. my drawing tablet, I would still be able to create art. If a writer lost his ability to use Google Docs, he would still be able to write on paper. Even if we lost access to pens, we can sharpen a stick and burn it to write with the charcoal. But the over-reliance on these tools will ultimately be the downfall of the prompt-tards. Once the AI bubble pops, we will only be left with what's useful and all the trash will be gone. And it will leave a whole group of people powerless, and they'll have to start from square one just like every other artist had to. But now with a significantly worse ego death. So how do we as artists fight back against the rise of AI arrogance? Ultimately, we have to become more welcoming. Being angry will make people dig in their heels and shout with righteous indignation. So ultimately understanding that the arrogance comes from misplaced ego and the misunderstanding of the finite nature of life. We will see the rise and fall of AI. The best thing you can do as an artist is to keep creating. It will trample you if you roll over and let it happen. It's all part of the endless fight to express ourselves. Life won't make it easy, but finally having that finished piece out on the page is beyond satisfying. AI has made a lot of people who are very smug about making meaningless garbage, but it's important to take stock and not get discouraged by people waving things above your head, because as you grow, you'll be able to see the flaws in what they're doing way more clearly than they can. Just remember that you only have so much time on this earth, so you might as well make it a good time. At the end of the day, it comes down to you to fight against the endless garbage with a touch of compassion towards the people who may be perceived as enemies right now. In conclusion, you're better than using AI. Eat a cinder block.